a warm welcome to all of you for joining us for this wonderful seminar. The topic of the seminar you have maybe already heard in the group. Now we have announced this. It is Smaranam, meditating on devotional prayers. So I would like to make a very brief introduction about Prabhuji. His Grace Akincana Krishna Prabhu, he has dedicated about 30 years to study and practice of meditation, mantra and contemplative arts within the Bhakti tradition. So 30 years of deep study. His meditation journey began in the mid-90s in New York City and has since taken him around the world. He has learned from many exceptional spiritual teachers and is always passionately thinking of the ways to share the transformative inspiration he has received. Today, he divides his time between teaching internationally and residing in Sri Vrindavan Dham, India, where he maintains his daily meditation practice and participates in the sacred town's renowned 24-hour kirtan. And it is not mentioned here that Her Grace Rati Manjari Mataji is his glorious wife, and everybody knows her. Prabhuji, we are very, very thankful that you are here in Bangladesh and you are blessing us with your melodious kirtan, devotional kirtan, and with your pure heart. You bring the moon from Vrindavan and you are distributing, you are creating Vrindavan here now in Bangladesh, in Germany. And yesterday we got a wonderful feedback from devotees. The last kirtan was very, very blissful. So thank you, Prabhu, for this wonderful seminar. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Maybe we chant for him Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Just a short introduction. If someone needs a Russian translation or German translation.
Yes. Anyone need
Because
Russian?
only one language.
Spanish.
But you understand good English, Prabhu. You speak wonderful English. Anybody has a problem like English to German also? German language? Or everyone fine? Okay, wonderful.
I should proceed. Okay, can you help me with that?
Yeah. And then you have to just from here.
Yeah, perfect.
So I have to go to translation or?
No, so...
Maybe here you can.
Yeah, from here. Here, I think from here, right? So how are you doing it?
I just press it here and then I do it.
Okay. That's great.
Yes, Pro, now it works. You see? Now it works from here.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
It's more easy.
Hare Krishna. Om Gyana Timrandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshulam Vitamina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I really want to thank everybody for joining us this morning. I really pray I can offer something of value to somebody today. This seminar is something very personally dear to me. And it's born from my own personal struggle to try to practice Krishna consciousness beyond a mechanical, ritualistic way. Does anybody ever have the experience maybe chanting their japa or attending temple programs, just somehow to complete the task without necessarily approaching it in a truly devotional way, and not feeling the benefit of, or like the spiritual reward of having done it in a devotional way. And so, Hare Krishna. I'm not sure. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Haribo, Haribo, Haribo.
Maybe there's some switch or something.
I think the switch is on.
Yeah.
Haribo. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. I think it looks on to me. Haribo. It's not so big. Everyone can hear me. Yeah. In our Mangalarti program, we're singing every morning. Mahaprabhu Kirtana Nitya Gita Paritramadyan Manasurasena Romanshakam Pashutarangavajo Vande Guru Shri Charanarvind. Can anyone say what it means? What's the translation?
I know some fraction like Mahaprabhu Kirtana, it's very joyful, it's very relishing, and tones of rain coming out.
And all
Dancing, ecstasy, some fraction.
Yeah.
Spiritual master is very gladdened by Sankta Mukta of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because his hair stands on end, tears flow from his eyes and thorns of rain, and he's just quivering in his body.
Yeah, that was quite good. That
And
was
the beginning
good.
is cartwheel, singing, dancing.
Here, I have a translation from the songbook. Chanting the holy name, dancing in ecstasy, singing and playing musical instruments, the spiritual master is always gladdened by the Sankirtan movement of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now, this part you didn't say, but this part is the important part. Because he is relishing the mellows of pure devotion within his mind. Because he is relishing the mellows of pure devotion within his mind, sometimes his hair stands on end, he feels quivering in his body, and tears flow from his eyes like waves. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of such a spiritual master. So what kind of mellows are in my mind? That seems to be really important element. I'm chanting Hare Krishna, but because I'm not relishing any devotional mellows in my mind, there's nothing ecstatic about it. But when the spiritual master, the highly qualified, bona fide spiritual master, when he's chanting, because he's relishing devotional mellows in his mind, he's getting great ecstasy. So we know in our processes of devotional service, it begins with Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. Vishnu Smaranam means remembrance of Krishna. And there's a few kind of indications from Srila Prabhupada. There's a conversation I was looking at. Basically, Srila Prabhupada says, what does Smaran mean? It means memorization and meditation. So it means, hearing is one level. Sometimes the tendency is maybe like you hear in one ear and it goes out the other. Hearing, chanting, if one has heard properly, one can chant, and then further one can remember. So what I want to do today is look at a few kind of exercises for memorization and for meditation. And the idea is that we want to try to internalize devotional moods expressed by our great acharyas, by the great devotees, so that when we perform devotional service, those devotional moods are in our mind. They're closer to us, they're closer to our heart, they're closer to our mind. So that when we do our japa, when we do whatever our services are, we can try to bring some of that devotional consciousness. Does that make sense? Any thoughts or questions about that? Okay. Can we start? Can someone just read the translation? We sang this bhajan, Gauranga Bolite Have, from our Songs of the Vaishnavacharya songbook. This is the first song of Srila Narottam Das Thakur's Prarthana. Very valuable, important book. Srila Prabhupada did express how valuable the songbook Prarthana is for devotional service. We sing many of the songs from that book regularly, and this is the first one. Someone volunteer, or maybe just everyone can say one verse of the translation. Someone can start us reading the first one.
When will that opportune moment come to us? When there will be shivering of the body as soon as we chant Lord Gauranga's name? While chanting Hare Krishna, when will there be tears in the eyes?
Yeah, what a great prayer for a sadhaka. Like we read how the spiritual master is experiencing these types of symptoms of ecstasy. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. As long as Kavi Chandra Maharaj.
Yeah.
So in our Guru Vastakam prayers, we read how the spiritual master is experiencing ecstasy by the performance of Sankirtan from the second verse of Guru Vastaka. And so here, Srila Narottam Das is praying for the same. And this is a perfect verse. As a sadhaka, I'm not able to manifest such symptoms of ecstasy, so I can lament that why am I not, when I chant the name of Gauranga, when will there be shivering in the body? When chanting Hare Krishna, when will tears come to my eyes? It's not there. I'm praying for that. I'm longing for that. Next verse.
When will I obtain the mercy of Lord Nityananda Chandra? When, by his mercies, will the desire for material enjoyment become very confused?
Next.
Number 3.
Yes.
When the mind is completely purified, being freed from material anxieties and desires, then I shall be able to understand Vrindavana and the conjugal love of Radha and Krishna. And then my spiritual life will be successful.
Nice. Number 4.
When shall I be very much eager to study the books like by the 6 Goswamis, headed by Sri Rupa Goswami and Sri Raghunath Das Goswami? By their instruction, I shall be able to properly understand the loving affairs of Radha and Krishna.
My only aspiration is to attain the lotus feet of the 6 Goswamis, headed by Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. Narottama Das are constantly praised to attain their lotus feet.
Nice. Great. So what I want to do now, raise your hand. Maybe some of us have second initiation. We're regularly chanting Gayatri. Yeah. Anyway, even those that don't, our practice is we have our Gayatri mantras given by our spiritual master. And when we chant japa, japa is generally meant to be the soft chanting of our mantra. But with Gayatri mantra, we don't even chant it softly. Instead, we chant with the voice of our mind. One can close their eyes, do a more traditional, like the idea of meditation that people generally have. Just by sitting still, one can chant the mantras in their mind and in that way meditate on them. And that type of meditation it can be a very powerful way to leave spiritual impressions on the mind. So the idea is we will take a similar approach with this very powerful Vaishnava prayer. Okay. So now, let's look at this first verse. When will that opportune moment come to us when there will be shivering of the body as soon as we chant Lord Gauranga's name? While chanting Hare Krishna, when will there be tears in the eyes? If you look at the second line, the line has been abbreviated so that only the first letter is there. The punctuation is still there, capitalization is still there. And the idea is we want to be able to come to the point when we can read the verse just by looking at the abbreviation without reading the full verse. This is like a tool that's used to memorize text. So the way it's here now is that it's there in its original form and with the abbreviation. So just as like a kind of a fun challenge. Let's volunteer. You can try your best to just read it from the abbreviation. And if needed, you can refer to the original to take help. Anyone want to try that? Or, yeah, go ahead.
I can try. When will that opportune moment come to us? When there will be shivering of the body as soon as we chant Lord Gauranga's name? When chanting Hare Krishna, when will that be? Time action.
Be tears in the eyes. Yeah, it's the original is there, so if you get stuck, you can look back. Good. While chanting Hare Krishna, when will there be tears in the eyes? Yes, let's continue. A few more volunteers. I want to get comfortable with this. Someone else?
When will that opportunity come to us? When there will be shivering of the body as soon as we chant Lord Gauranga's name? While chanting Hare Krishna, when will there be tears in the eyes?
Good. When will that opportunity moment come? Look, that's okay. We're just, by repetition, we're studying this to memorize it. Soon I will show this to you without the help of the original. So now we're still at the stage where we're just getting comfortable with this. So no one should be shy. Next volunteer.
I can only look at this. No, I
Okay.
can not only an abbreviator look at the verse, or it's a guy. It doesn't matter.
It's just do your best, whatever you can do.
Okay. When will the opportunity moment come to you that then there will be some when there will be shivering of the body as soon as the chant Lord Gauranga name while chanting Hare Krishna, then will be the tears in your eyes.
Good. Prove? Yeah.
Well, I got to read only yes. When will that opportunity moment come to us? When there will be shivering of the body as soon as we chant Lord Gauranga's name. While chanting Hare Krishna, when will there be tears in the eyes?
Thank you. Good.
When will this opportune moment come to us? When there will be shivering of the body, as soon as we chant Lord Gauranga's name. While chanting Hare Krishna, when will there be tears in the eyes?
Good. Couple of more.
When will that opportune moment come to us? When there will be shivering of the body as soon as we chant Lord Gauranga's name. We chant while chanting Hare Krishna. When will there be tears in the eyes?
Good. Okay, just a couple more. Prabhu.
So if I get stuck, I can always look.
Yes.
Yes. When will there? When will that opportune moment come to us? When there will be shivering of the body as soon as we chant Lord Gauranga's name while chanting Hare Krishna. When will there be tears in the eyes.
Nice. Okay, let's keep it there just for now. And what I'd like to do is, everyone can find a comfortable position and close your eyes. Take like a meditative posture. And what I'd like to do is, I'd like to chant this verse, call and response. But the response, I don't want you to chant it vocally. I want you to chant it with the voice of your mind. So we're going to do call and response chanting in the mind. And when we repeat this verse, I would like everybody to try to really feel the meaning of what's being prayed for here. Like if we're relishing prasadam, we want that prasadam to nourish us and give us strength for our devotional service. So similarly, we want to really absorb this devotional prayer so that it can give us strength, give us inspiration in our devotional service. So when you're chanting, we don't just want to mechanically chant this, but we want to really feel what is the need, what is the longing expressed in this prayer. Okay, so with eyes closed, everybody please chant, but not with your voice, but with the voice of your mind. Think of it like we're chanting our Gayatri mantras or something. When will that opportune moment come to me? When will that opportune moment come to me? When there will be shivering of the body. When there will be shivering of the body. As soon as I chant Lord Gauranga's name. As soon as I chant Lord Gauranga's name. When will that opportune moment come to me when there will be shivering of the body? As soon as I chant Lord Gauranga's name. While chanting Hare Krishna, when will there be tears in the eyes? While chanting Hare Krishna, when will there be tears in the eyes? When will that opportune moment come to us when there will be shivering of the body? As soon as we chant Lord Gauranga's name. while chanting Hare Krishna, when will there be tears in the eyes? When will that opportune moment come to us when there will be shivering of the body? As soon as we chant Lord Gauranga's name. While chanting Hare Krishna, when will there be tears in the eyes? I'd like to chant it one more time, this time with all of your sincerity, with all of your emotion. Let's try to really imbibe the spirit of this verse, really call out to the Lord in the mood of this verse. When will that opportune moment come to us when there will be shivering of the body? As soon as we chant Lord Gauranga's name. While chanting Hare Krishna, when will there be tears in the eyes? While chanting Hare Krishna, when will there be tears in the eyes? Okay, everyone can open their eyes. And let's take a few volunteers just with the abbreviations. Maybe we'll do better now. Someone can volunteer to read it, just the abbreviations. Go ahead.
When will that opportune moment comes, when there will be, when the body shivers, when we chant Lord Gauranga's name?
When will that opportune moment come to us, when there will be shivering of the body, as soon as we chant Lord Gauranga's name?
While we chant Hare Krishna,
While chanting?
While we chanting, while we chant Hare Krishna, when there will be tears in the eyes.
Nice. Yes, Prabhu.
When will the opportune moment come to us when there will be shivering of the body as soon as we chant Lord Gauranga's name? While chanting Hare Krishna, when will be the tears in the eyes?
Good. You?
When will that opportune moment come to us when there will be shivering of the body as soon as we chant Lord Gauranga's name? While chanting Hare Krishna, when will there be tears in the eyes?
Good. Anybody?
When will the opportune moment come to us? When will be the body shivering as soon as we chant Lord Gauranga's name while chanting Hare Krishna? When will there be tears in the eyes?
Thank you. Couple more.
I will try. When when will this opportunity moment come to us? When that will be shivering our body as long as we are chanting Lord Gauranga name. When while chanting Hare Krishna, that will be eyes in your eyes, opportunity, eyes in
Tears in the eyes.
Tears in eyes.
Thank you. Nice. Can anyone do it from memory yet?
When will that opportune moment come to us? When there will be shivering of the body, while chanting Lord Gauranga's name.
As
soon as we chant Lord Gauranga's name, while chanting Hare Krishna, when will there be tears in the eyes?
Good, do it again.
When will that opportune moment come to us? As soon as we chant Lord Gauranga, when the opportune moment comes when we feel shivering of the body, as soon as we chant Lord Gauranga's name, while we will chant Hare Krishna, when will there be tears in the eyes?
Good. When will that opportune moment come to us when there will be shivering of the body as soon as we chant Lord Gauranga's name? While chanting Hare Krishna, when will there be tears in the eyes? Do it again. Yeah.
When the opportune moment comes to us, when we will feel shivering of the body as soon as we chant Lord Gauranga's name. While chanting Hare Krishna, when will there be tears in the eyes?
Yeah, pretty good. Someone else? Right.
When will that opportune moment come when there will be shivering of the body while chanting, as soon as we chant Lord Gauranga's name? When will while chanting Hare Krishna, when will there be tears in the eyes?
Nice. Good, someone else? Just like when you get second initiation, the first week you have the paper or something to do the Gayatris. Then after that you remember. So anyway, we're practicing remembering this, and we can also remember this prayer from time to time. What a powerful, valuable prayer to really set our sights on the goal of perfection in Krishna consciousness. Okay, someone read the second verse. Let's just read it just from the original text for now, a few times. Please.
When will I obtain the mercy of Lord Nityananda Chandra? When, by his mercy, will the desire of material enjoyment become very insignificant?
Nice.
When will I obtain the mercy of Lord Nityananda Chandra? When, by his mercy, will the desire for material enjoyment become very insignificant?
Great prayer.
When will I obtain the mercy of Lord Nityananda Chandra? When, by his mercy, will the desire for material enjoyment become very insignificant?
When will I obtain the mercy of Lord Nityananda Chandra? When, by his mercy, will the desire for material enjoyment become very insignificant?
Good. You want to try, you can, as far as you're able, you can try to read it from the abbreviations. And if you need help, you can go back to the original. Go ahead. Yeah.
When will I obtain the mercy of Lord Nityananda Chandra? When by his mercy will the desire for material enjoyment become very insignificant?
Nice. Yes, Prabhu, go ahead.
When will I obtain the mercy of Lord Nityananda Chandra? When, by his mercy, will the desire for material enjoyment become very insignificant?
Nice. You also, Prabhu? As you're able.
When will I obtain the mercy of the Lord Nityananda Chandra, when by his mercy the desire for the material enjoyment become very insignificant.
Great. Handshake briefly.
Yes. When will Lord, when will I obtain the mercy of Lord Nityananda Chandra? When by his mercy will the desire for material enjoyment becomes insignificant, becomes very insignificant.
When will I obtain the mercy of Lord Nityananda Chandra? When by his mercy will the desire of material enjoyment become very insignificant?
Thanks.
When will I obtain the mercy of Lord Nityananda Chandra? When, by his mercy, will the desire for material enjoyment become very insignificant?
Nice. Okay, let's everybody try to sit up a little straight if you can, if it's possible. Straight spine, chin should be like either parallel to the floor or a little bit raised if you like. Try to find strong meditative posture. We don't want to be moving around and fidgeting too much. We want to put maximum absorption into hearing and chanting with the voice of our mind. So we'll do the same exercise again like before. We will chant this call and response, but we will not chant with our voice this time. We will chant with the voice of our mind. Okay, let's begin. When will I obtain the mercy of Lord Nityananda Chandra? When will I obtain the mercy of Lord Nityananda Chandra? When, by his mercy, will the desire for material enjoyment become very insignificant? When, by his mercy, will the desire for material enjoyment become very insignificant? When, by his mercy, will the desire for material enjoyment become very insignificant? When will I obtain the mercy of Lord Nityananda Chandra? When will I obtain the mercy of Lord Nityananda Chandra? When, by his mercy, will the desire for material enjoyment become very insignificant?
When, by his mercy, will the desire for material enjoyment become very insignificant? When will I obtain the mercy of Lord Nityananda Chandra? When, by his mercy, will the desire for material enjoyment become very insignificant? When will I obtain the mercy of Lord Nityananda Chandra? When, by his mercy, will the desire for material enjoyment become very insignificant? Okay. Let's try to practice reading just from the abbreviations this time. Please.
When will I obtain the mercy of Lord Nityananda Chandra? When by his mercy will there will the desire for material enjoyment become very insignificant?
Nice.
When will I obtain the mercy of Lord Nityananda Chandra? When, by his mercy, will the desire for material enjoyment becomes so insignificant?
Very insignificant.
Very insignificant.
Yes. When, by his mercy, will the desire for material enjoyment become very insignificant?
When will I obtain the mercy of Lord Nityananda Chandra? When, by his mercy, the desire for material enjoyment will become very insignificant.
Nice.
When will I obtain the mercy of Lord Nityananda Chandra? When by his mercy will the desire for material enjoyment be very insignificant?
Yeah, will become very insignificant. Any ladies?
When will I obtain the mercy of Lord Nityananda Chandra? When by his mercy will the desire for material enjoyment become very insignificant?
Nice.
When will I obtain the mercy of Lord Nityananda Chandra? When by his mercy will the desire for material enjoyment become very insignificant?
Nice. Beautiful prayer, right? So relevant, so appropriate to all of us. I'll tell you, just as an aside, these Vaishnav prayers written by our acharyas, especially prayers Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Shilanartan Das Thakur, these acharyas, they wrote in simple Bengali language with the idea of taking all the profound philosophy of the six Goswamis. The six Goswamis are writing in Sanskrit. Narottam Das Thakur, he wrote in very simple Bengali language with the idea of being able to share the highest conception of philosophy with anyone, because they could easily understand the language. But if we're not native Bengali speakers, it may be a challenge to really access all of these beautiful prayers. There was once a program in Vrindavan, and we asked one of the Bengali devotees to sing some Vaishnav bhajan. And I was just appreciating, while he was singing, there was actually tears coming to his eyes, because the meaning of what he was singing was so deep and so beautiful, and the language was so easily understandable by him. And I really felt like, what a misfortune that Bengali is so foreign for me. I really am not able to access these prayers in the same way. So part of developing kind of a practice of meditating on the meaning of these songs was to find some way to bridge that gap, to be able, as I'm able to access these songs. One thing I can understand in this session is that English is not maybe a first language for many of you. I'm sorry that we're conducting this in English, but the same principle can be applied. If someone is comfortable in German or Spanish or Russian, Ukrainian, whatever language, the same principle can be applied, and we can try to memorize the meaning of these prayers, try to meditate on them like that. Okay, next verse is very famous. I think Srila Prabhupada quotes this a lot in his books. Very powerful, beautiful philosophical points come out in these prayers also. Can someone read this?
Can we see this sloka? Maybe just to have...
Yeah, right. Number 3, can you read that in Bengali, Prabhu?
I don't know Bengali, but I can try.
No, Vishaya. Good.
Yes.
Good. Someone can read the translation?
And the mind is completely purified, being freed from material anxieties and desires, then I shall be able to understand Vrindavana and the conjugal love of Radha and Krishna, and then my spiritual life will be successful.
Nice. Please, someone else.
When the mind is completely purified, being freed from the material anxieties and desires, then I shall be able to understand Vrindavana and the conjugal love of the Radha and Krishna. And then my spiritual life will be successful.
Nice.
When the mind is completely purified, being freed from material anxieties and desires, then I shall be able to understand Vrindavana and the conjugal love of Radha and Krishna. And then my spiritual life will be successful.
Nice. Who you want to read?
When the mind is completely purified, being freed from material anxieties and desires, then I shall be able to understand Vrindavan and the conjugal love of Radha and Krishna, and then my spiritual life will be successful.
When the mind is completely purified, being freed from material anxieties and desires, then I shall be able to understand Vrindavana and the conjugal love of Radha and Krishna, and then my spiritual life will be successful.
Someone new?
When the mind is completely purified, being freed from material anxieties and desires, then I shall be able to understand Vrindavan and the conjugal love of Radha and Krishna, and then my spiritual life will be successful.
Nice. So next volunteer, you can, as you're able, try to read it from the abbreviation. We want to become a little more independent. Ultimately, we want to memorize. Srila Prabhupada said.
Can I ask?
Yes.
Well, what meaning goal in this my spiritual life will be successful? What he wants to say in these words?
What's being said in this verse?
That successful. I come to Krishna, I will be with Krishna, or in this life, in this material life, my spiritual life will become successful. Or I come to Golaka Vrindavan, I can understand.
The same point is said like in Shikshastika, we read like Nadanam, Najanam, Nasandarim, Kavitamba, Jagadisha Kamayim, Amajanmani, Janmani, Shvare, Bhavata, Bhakti, Rahaitu Ki Twai. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was saying, I don't want any material sense gratification, no wealth, no women, no followers. I just want causeless devotional service, birth after birth. So the idea is that in the progress of our devotional life, we want to give up material sense gratification, give up material desires. Like we know that he's saying, then I'll be able to understand Vrindavan and the conjugal love of Radha and Krishna. Those are very, very sacred, very high topics. And the tendency is we approach those topics with some material idea in our mind. You know, people look at Radha and Krishna, they think, oh, it's like some heavenly enjoyment. A beautiful boy and a beautiful girl are enjoying, and they try to understand it from a material perspective. But our acharyas are explaining really the qualification to be able to understand those very sacred things. Vrindavan, what is Radha and Krishna? Actually, you have to come to the point of being totally detached from material sense gratification. That's what's being said here. It's very powerful, very beautiful, very, very important meditation. When the mind is completely purified, being freed from material anxieties and desires, then I shall be able to understand Vrindavan and the conjugal love of Radha and Krishna, and then my spiritual life will be successful. Right? Understanding Vrindavan, understanding the love of Radha and Krishna, serving Vrindavan, serving Radha and Krishna, that means successful spiritual life. But there's very high qualification to achieve that. That's what's being said here. Is that okay?
Is this like pointing at the Brahma Bhuta state that one is without desires? One should be at this stage to understand this? Or
yes.
We can also take it like we have this processes of bhakti, different steps of bhakti.
Yeah.
Siddha, Sadhusam, Anurnivrati, Bhajan Kriya. And then we have Nishtha, Ruchi. So this is maybe a state where we are in Ruchi or Nishtha.
Correct. Yes, it is like Bhaktivinoda Thakur said it's like Ruchi.
Ruchi, level of Ruchi.
In other words, very high. But we're not saying we have that, but we're aspiring for that. We want to come to that standard of devotion. We want to come to the position of detachment from material sense gratification. Because we understand that's our path forward in Krishna consciousness. Is that okay? It's very powerful meditation. By memorizing this, by meditating on this, more and more you can gain more insight, more understanding. Then when you read Srila Prabhupada's books, you will see how he expresses this point in so many ways. You can understand it from many angles. That's the value of Smaran. Meditating on this, thinking about this, contemplating this. This is the subject matter that a devotee should be absorbed in. This is like valuable, nourishing subject matter that will help us in Krishna consciousness. That's the value of what I'm trying to share. Yes. Anyone else? Yes, please.
Я бы хотела спросить, там было сказано про страхи материальные. Можете пару слов сказать, как конкретизировать, какие страхи?
So Mataji is asking there were a question about anxieties, material, what kind of anxieties are concretely meant by this?
Yeah. Right, it means that if we have some anxiety in our, for our material life, what is my safety? What is my security? What about my family? What about my health? Etc. As long as we're attached to those bodily things, that is a bar from us being able to really enter into the confidential understanding of what is Vrindavan, what is Radha and Krishna. There's a story in the pastimes we have of Srila Gorkashore Das Babaji Maharaj. So it's said that a householder, maybe he was like somewhat of a worldly person, he came to Gorkashore Das Babaji. He said, "Please Maharaj, can you tell me something about Radha and Krishna? I want to know about their eternal pastimes in the spiritual world." And Gorkishore Das Babaji's answer to that person was, that person that has anxiety even over a few paisa, he will never understand this topic. In other words, you're not ready yet. Still, you have some anarthas that have to be cleared before you can think about this pastime. The tendency is to want to jump up to higher subject matters, but we should understand that detachment from material desire, even from anxiety for all of our difficulties on the bodily platform, even those anxieties are a type of bar that will keep us from being able to genuinely, sincerely understand transcendental subject matter. It's very powerful, right? Okay, but back to the Smaran point. Can we, and like I say, by memorizing this, by meditating on this, more and more points will come out. We will get a deeper and deeper understanding. Like I tried to say before, when you take prasadam, you want to take it so that you're nourished, so that you get some strength, some health to be able to do your devotional service. So I'm saying same way, we should find some nourishing subject matter from our acharyas, from our shastras, from Srila Prabhupada's books. We should try to memorize that, meditate on that. And in the same way, like we try to get nourishment from our food, it's a very powerful way to get nourishment. Like in our Guru Puja, we're singing Guru Mukha Padma Vaikya Site Te Koriya. My only wish is that my consciousness purified by the words emanating from his lotus mouth. Like Guru Puja song is also written by the same author, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Narottam Das Thakur. So, so the words of Guru are so valuable. We want our consciousness purified by these words. Can someone try to read again? Just do the best you can, just from the abbreviation.
When the mind is completely purified, being free from material anxieties and desires, then I shall be able to understand Vrindavana and the conjugal love of Radha and Krishna, and then my spiritual life will be successful.
Jai.
Jai. Yes, Prabhu, you try also.
When the mind is completely purified, being free from the material desires, anxieties and desires, then I shall be able to understand the Vrindavan and conjugal pastimes of Radha and Krishna.
Conjugal love of Radha and Krishna.
Conjugal love of Radha and Krishna, and my spiritual life will become successful.
Good. A few more. Don't be too shy. Yes, Mataji.
When the mind is completely purified but freed from material anxieties and desires, then I shall be able to understand Vrindavan and the conjunctional love of Radha and Krishna, and then my spiritual life will be successful.
Good. Conjugal love of Radha and Krishna.
Conjugal love. It's difficult to pronounce.
Prabhu?
When the mind is completely purified, being free from material attachments or anxieties and desires, then I shall be able to understand Vrindavan and the conjugal love of Radha and Krishna, and then my spiritual life will be successful.
Nice. Want to try, Prabhu?
When the mind
You do the best you can. The original is also there. You take help there if you need it.
When the mind is completely free,
completely purified.
What is B for?
Being
Being free from material attachment and and desire, then
anxieties and desire,
then I shall be able to understand Vrindavan and the conjugal love affairs of Radha and Krishna. At that time, my spiritual life will be successful.
Yeah, pretty good. Thank you. Yes, Prabhu, go ahead.
When the mind is completely purified, being freed from material anxieties and desire, then I shall be able to understand Vrindavana and the conjugal love of Radha and Krishna, and then my spiritual life will become successful.
Nice. Yes, Prabhu, you had your hand up.
When the mind is completely purified, being freed from anxieties and material anxieties and desires, then I shall be able to understand Vrindavan and the conjugal love of Radha and Krishna, and then my spiritual life will be successful.
Nice. Okay, we'll do like a guided meditation one more time on this line. So again, I see devotees like fidgeting a lot. That's okay, but a higher standard of meditation is if we can sit very still. Why are we sitting still? Because our full attention, our full absorption is only in the mind. We just want to be so absorbed in the voice of our mind, which is chanting this very powerful spiritual prayer. And as soon as we kind of move around and scratch and, immediately our consciousness becomes distracted. We're less powerfully focused and absorbed. The same lesson we can have, for our chanting of japa, for our chanting of Gayatri. It's a higher standard if we can just be maximally focused. And again, we want to be nourished by this. We want to absorb this. This is a very deep point. We can contemplate this a lot. There's so much subject matter here. And so we want to really absorb this. And every day we can get some new or fresh realization just from these couple of lines, or just from this one line. It's so powerful and pregnant with spiritual meaning. What does it mean to be completely detached from material anxieties and desires? When will I get Lord Nityananda's mercy? Be completely freed from material desires. When I'm free from material desires, then I'll understand what is Vrindavan. Then I'll understand Radha and Krishna. It's beautifully outlining the whole, our process of Krishna consciousness. Okay, so let's again. Just small smarm exercise. We'll try to sit up straight, spine straight as much as possible. Head should not be slouched down, but either parallel to the floor, or if you like, chin can be raised a little bit. Hands relaxed, shoulders relaxed, no tension in the body. And with the voice of our mind, let's please attentively, with full heart, let's repeat this prayer of Narottam Das Thakur. Pray for his mercy to get deeper realization. Please repeat, not vocally, but with the voice of your mind. When the mind is completely purified, being freed from material anxieties and desires, when the mind is completely purified, being freed from material anxieties and desires, then I shall be able to understand Vrindavan. then I shall be able to understand Vrindavan. And the conjugal love of Radha and Krishna. And the conjugal love of Radha and Krishna. And then my spiritual life will be successful. And then my spiritual life will be successful. When the mind is completely purified, being freed from material anxieties and desires, then I shall be able to understand Vrindavan. And the conjugal love of Radha and Krishna. And then my spiritual life will be successful. When the mind is completely purified, being freed from material anxieties and desires, then I shall be able to understand Vrindavan. And the conjugal love of Radha and Krishna. And then my spiritual life will be successful. When the mind is completely purified, being freed from material anxieties and desires, then I shall be able to understand Vrindavan. And the conjugal love of Radha and Krishna. And then my spiritual life will be successful. try to read this verse again, this time just from the abbreviations will help you. Yes, Prabhu.
When the mind is completely purified, being free from material anxieties and desires, then I shall be able to understand Vrindavan and the conjugal love of Radha and Krishna, and then my spiritual life will become successful.
Nice. One more time.
When the mind is completely purified, being free from material anxieties and desires, then I shall be able to understand Vrindavana and the conjugal love of Radha and Krishna, and then my spiritual life will become successful.
Nice.
When the mind is completely purified, being free from material anxieties and desires, then I shall be able to understand Vrindavana and the conjugal love of Radha and Krishna, and then my spiritual life will become successful.
Nice.
When the mind is
completely. When the mind is completely.
When the mind is completely purified, be free from material anxieties and desires, then it shall be able to understand Vrindavana and the conjugal love of Radha and Krishna, and then my spiritual life will become successful.
Good, good. Okay, I think we did a lot today actually, but we looked at these first 3 lines. Anyone like really brave want to give a shot at trying any of the earlier lines also?
I can.
Yeah.
I mean, when will the opportune moment come to me? When will the opportune moment come to us when there will be shivering of the body as soon as we chant Lord Gaurang's name? While chanting Hare Krishna, when will there be tears in the eyes?
Well done. Next one.
While chanting
When will I
obtain the mercy of Lord Nityananda Chandra, when by his mercy
will the desires
for material enjoyment become very insignificant.
Good, do the second one again.
When will I obtain the mercy of Lord Nityananda Chandra, when by his mercy will the desire for material enjoyment become very insignificant?
Good, and the third one?
Oh my God. When the mind is completely purified, becoming free from material anxieties and desires, then I shall be able to understand Vrindavana and the conjugal love of Radha and Krishna, and then my spiritual life will become successful.
Well done. Very nice. Anyone else brave? Just try 1 or 2 more, and then I don't want to take too much of your time. Prabhu?
Yeah.
You want to try?
Yeah. When will the opportune moment come to us?
When there will
be shivering of the body.
As soon
as we chant Lord Gaurang's name, while chanting Hare Krishna, when will there be tears in the eyes? When will I obtain the mercy of Lord Nityananda Chandra? When by his mercy will
the
desires for material enjoyment be very insignificant?
Become very insignificant. Good.
when the mind is completely purified, being freed from material anxieties and desires, then I shall be able to understand Vrindavan and the conjugal love of Radha and Krishna. At that moment and then my spiritual life will be successful.
Nice. Okay, so what I want to share with everyone is just the, in our devotional practice, Shravan is of course essential, most important. Kirtan, also most essential. And Smaran. There's great value. Spending some time, Srila Prabhupada says, memorizing, meditating. Smaran means those things. Memorizing, meditating. Finding some nurturing, inspirational, spiritual instruction from our great acharyas. Srila Prabhupada, these prayers that Srila Prabhupada gave us are so powerful, so impactful. Finding some nurturing, inspiring, spiritual, transcendental subject matter. Taking the time to memorize and meditate on them as a way to enliven our spiritual practices, give us some more spiritual depth with which to approach our chanting, our other services. I hope that's clear enough. Maybe just a few minutes, any questions, any comments, any feedback, discussion? Yes, Prabhu.
If I remember correctly, I've heard that Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he did in the beginning, in the morning, smarana or chanting in the mind in the morning, and then he was doing soft chanting, and when it becomes dark or midnight, he was doing loud chanting.
Okay.
So I don't know if it corresponds with the gunas or it's like very active. So in the morning, it's maybe simpler to chant in the mind.
Mm. Oh. Yes, maybe. I mean, my understanding is japa means a soft chanting, and generally we're advised to do like that. Also, chanting in the mind, I think there's no harm. Like our 16 rounds, I would want to try to follow that we chant 16 rounds, like according to Srila Prabhupada's instructions. Then we may be able to chant unlimited rounds, and if we chant in our minds, what's the harm? That's my understanding, my view. Yes,
when we are chanting, is it necessary that the next person also has to hear what we are chanting?
My understanding is japa means soft chanting so that it's audible to yourself. If you're chanting in such a way that it's audible to others, then it becomes kirtan.
Yes. Okay. Because many times in any lectures, many times the speaker used to tell us you have to chant loudly, the next person or the next two persons has to hear it. So it is becoming confusing because I am used to singing, chanting so that only I can hear it, not the next person.
Yeah. Anyway, we also want to do kirtan so that everyone can hear. Please, Maharaj.
The prostitute could hear Haridas chanting.
The prostitute could hear Haridas chanting?
Heard him.
That's a good point.
He started chanting. So he must have been chanting audibly.
That's a great point, Maharaj. Thank you so much.
Right?
Yeah, good comment.
And he said that loud chanting is 1,000 times.
That's true.
Who said Haridas?
I heard this week in a lecture of Swana Satyanam Maharaj that he said like when you're disturbed in the mind, then when your mind's very agitated, then you can chant a bit louder to at least hear your mantra more than your mind. That you also need to walk even to better not, but if you need them.
Please, Maharaj.
Maharaj, when he was first in the temple, he was chanting very loud. He was like 17 years old. And the devotees were complaining that this prostitute is chanting too loud. It's disturbing us. And he complained to Prabhupada. So Prabhupada said, and he said, well, I read Haridas Thakur said, if your mind is disturbed, you can chant loud. And my mind is always disturbed. The Prabhupada said, okay, so you see this hill over next to the temple, you can go there and chant. That doesn't disturb you.
In the first verse, what does the word shivering means?
Shivering of the body.
Shivering.
Like if some, like in ordinary material sense, if you become cold, you shiver. I think Arjuna says in Bhagavad Gita that he was also shivering in his anxiety. So it can be like an expression of the body of like great emotion also.
Through the chanting of the name of the Lord.
Yeah, the verse said that when will there be shivering when I chant Lord Gauranga's name? In other words, when I chant Gauranga, how much am I feeling? But if someone causes shivering of the body, it means there's great spiritual emotion.
This is one symptom of the static sense.
Yeah, one symptom of like bhava or samadhi. Same like it said in the verse from Guru Vastika, they're ecstatic symptoms. It means someone has become perfect in Krishna consciousness. So it's another way of saying, when will I become perfect in Krishna consciousness?
Just reminds me of this Brahmana who was just cooking in the mine. So he was doing smarana the whole time.
Right.
A very practical question. I never saw people learning slokas like this. Is that really helpful?
I find it extremely helpful. You didn't find it helpful?
No, I found it, but I never saw it before. I am also studying slokas, but I never saw it.
I mean, especially if you want to memorize text in like your native language, it can be like a great, because it's forcing you to, it's like giving you some assistance without telling you the whole thing. So it's like you're practicing memorizing it. It can work to some degree with Sanskrit shlokas, but it may not be as effective if the language is not immediately meaningful to you. But that's why I said, like, I'm showing this in English. Maybe your native language is German or some other language. So you could apply the same idea in German. I just looked up ways that people memorize text, and this was a suggestion there that I find very, very helpful. So you can try with, like Sanskrit, Bengali. Yes, Prabhu.
I just have also a little technical question because I came later. This was Bhaktivinoda Thakur.
This is Srila Narottam Das Thakur. Yeah, this was it's the first song of Prarthana, this songbook Prarthana. I think there's another story from Gorkishore Das Babaji. Someone said, how do I make advancement? How do I attain prema? He said, oh, it's very easy. You just have to get 2 books. The 2 songbooks of Narottam Das Thakur, Prarthana and Prema Bhakti Chandrika, and then you can.
Can I?
Yeah.
I was just thinking, I also came late, but regardless, at least one liner I had.